How's it going, everybody? My name is Brandon, your host with the most, and this is The Age of the Comeback. All right. So, in an effort to be way more transparent with you, my audience, I am doing something a little bit more different. I'm always tuning these episodes just a tad bit more just to see what works and what doesn't work. So what I'm doing here is just being way more transparent with you guys, my audience, and just letting you guys know exactly the schedule of what I do for these episodes. So first off, the introduction, then there's going to be the episode title, then who's this episode for, then the topic, then a recap, and then my following info. I still don't know why you haven't followed me if you haven't as yet. There's no excuses. I'm everywhere now. And the closing. Alright? So let's get into it. So the introduction. Well, I already went over that. So we're done with that. We're done with that. Now, as far as the episode title is concerned, the episode title is named Filling Up Your Own Cup, The Expansion Within. Filling Up Your Own Cup and the Expansion Within. Woo! Woo! That one gave me chills there. Filling up your own cup and the expansion within. Now, what does that mean to you? What does that mean to you? What does that mean to you? When you hear what filling up your own cup is, you know, there's a cliche. You can't fill up anybody else's cup before you can fill up yours, before you fill up yours first. However, what does that mean? What does filling up your own cup first mean? Take a second. Take a second to think about it. What does that mean? What does that mean to you? What does that filling up your own cup first mean to you? It can mean a plethora of different things, really. If you really sit down and think about it, it can mean a bajillion different things. However, in this particular scenario, filling up your own cup, in my experience, is the expansion within. Healing from the internal in order for it to reflect into your external. Now, as you can see, I have a handy dandy easel here because I've noticed that during my episodes, I may be speaking about so many different things, and without visuals, it's hard to wrap your mind around it, especially if you're a visual person. So I invested into an easel. Yeah! All right. So before we even get into the topic, I just want to just briefly go over who this episode is actually for. So, I went over one of those tidbits there. Who's this episode actually for? And who's this episode for is, are you an individual that has a dilemma with filling your own cup first prior to filling somebody else's cup, or filling up cups around you? This episode's for you. Are you a person that just gives and gives and gives and gives and has such a difficult problem or dilemma with receiving? Receiving. This episode is for you. Are you an individual that just doesn't know how to invest into yourself in order to expand within, to heal internally, for it to reflect in your external world? This episode is for you. And with that being said, let's jump into our topic here. So we are at topic now, and that is filling up your own cup and the expansion within. Now, I asked you the question of what does filling up your own cup mean? It's a very cliche term, okay? However, I added another phrase after it that really spoke volumes to me when I was brainstorming what the hell am I going to talk about this week. And it was crazy because it happened yesterday when I went to do community service. I was volunteering at a food and clothing bank, Agrafia Food and Clothing Bank, to be transparent with you. And the next question I'd like to ask each and every one of you is, what does the expansion within mean to you? What does the expansion within mean to you? The expansion within. What does that mean to you? So filling up your own cup, again, a very cliche term. However, it's the expansion within that requires to happen in order to be able to fill your own cup first. So there's a layer deeper than just filling up your own cup. I want to put a visual to you just to be transparent and to speak to my visual learners out there. Let me show you something. Okay, and I'm not no artist, okay? I'm letting you guys know that right now. I'm not no artist, alright? So, I had a crazy conversation with actually my mentor, Victor Para. Thank you for everything, Victor. I appreciate you. That's a huge shout out to you, man. And we were talking about a cup. A cup. Okay? I'm going to do this right here. You know what? I'll just do it like this. I'll just make this. And that reminds me of one of the red Solo cups I used to play beer pong with. You know what I mean? Can you guys see that? Yes, you guys can. Beautiful. All right. So, what ends up happening during our life, right, is that we have cracks through our traumatic experiences that happen within our lives. Okay? And what me and my mentor were speaking about, me and Victor, we were speaking about how do we actually heal the cracks. So throughout our lives, we have different experiences that traumatize us in order to create a crack here, create a crack here, create a crack here, create a crack here, and the list goes on, and the list goes on, and the list goes on. Okay? Now, think about the straw. That's inside of this cup. Okay? Now, the first thing before we even think about the straw is I want you to think about how water goes in to this cup. How water goes in to the cup. Water goes into the cup. So water is filling the cup, and you have all of these cracks. You have all of these X's here that symbolizes cracks. You have all of these X's here that symbolize cracks. Okay? Now, what do you think is going to happen with the water once it starts attempting to fill up this cup with all of these cracks inside the cup? It's going to leak. It's going to leak. It's going to leak. Going to leak. Going to leak. Going to leak. Without ever actually being able to fill your own cup up first. Well, what do you do about the cracks? What do you do about the cracks? And this is the crazy part. What do you do about these cracks here? I mean, we could do something crazy here, and we could do a Band-Aid on the outside. On the outside. And a lot of people, how do I even put this? A lot of people, they put up faces for Band-Aids, right? So these cracks right here, like I'm one of them. I use drugs and I use alcohol as Band-Aids to fix these, thinking that, okay, I'm filling up my own cup. I'm filling up my own cup by numbing the cracks, by numbing the experiences, by numbing the trauma that happened throughout my life. And this is where we get to go is, okay, first off, we get to address what the fuck happened. What the fuck happened here, in order for these leaks to consistently keep going. And then are we attempting, the next question to ask is, are we attempting to fix it externally? Heal from it externally, or are we attempting to heal from the internal? And that's where the straw comes into play. Okay? Now the straw, what the straw is a representation of is the work that you do on yourself. What the straw is a representation of is the work that you do on yourself. And this is where we get into the expansion within. The expansion within. Growing our spirit. Growing who we are as human beings, not externally, internally, in order to let positive things amass that space that we go into. So, again, to put the visual behind it, is this straw represents the work that you have done on yourself. And if this straw is skinny, then we get to ask ourselves, why is the straw skinny? Why is the straw skinny? What can I do to expand the straw size? What can I do to expand the straw size? What can I do to expand the straw size? What can I do to expand the straw size? So I'm gonna draw this one more time, but let me put a visual. Let me put another visual. on here really quick. What we can do to expand the straw size is a couple of things. First off, I think the easiest way for me, in my experience, to first start off with is the one thing that you are 100% responsible for, and that is, actually, I'll make this a little bit bigger, your health. Health. Okay? Second, relationships. And that relationship can be with yourself. Uh-oh, might run out of space here. Yes, got it. So health, relationships, health, relationships, then family, and then four I want to speak about, it's a surprise. Okay? However, let me just go into how do we expand the straw size inside of that cup, because that's where the analogy of the expansion within occurs, and I will draw that out for you after I explain this, because it feeds right into the visual illustration next. So, with health, you invest into your health, what that does for your energy to do more and more things to invest into yourself is insurmountable. Go for that walk. Go for that hike. Go for that swim. Go to the gym. Eat healthier. Just, you know what healthy is. You know what healthy is. You are 100% responsible for your own body. That is the one thing that doesn't require finances. That is the one thing that doesn't require some motivation. It does not require anything external or circumstances that it doesn't require any of that. You are 100% responsible for your health. You could knock down 10 push-ups right here, right now. You could do 10 air squats right here, right now. And the question is, why haven't you? Why haven't you? Why haven't you? Can you imagine yourself just being a healthy human being? Can you imagine yourself being a parent that can actually play and has the energy for their kid? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine a life where you have such an abundance of energy that people are magnetized towards you? Can you imagine that? I can. I can. You get to as well. It's your life. It's your life. Think about it. You got it. Relationships. Now, when I was writing this out, remember, I said that the relationship with yourself can be one as well. And I want to focus on the relationship with self for this excerpt here. Because the relationship with self is super powerful. How can you have a relationship with anybody else if you don't have a relationship with yourself? What are the thoughts that you think about often when you look at yourself in the mirror? Have you or have you not told yourself that you love yourself recently? Where do you get to go in order to show yourself self-care? Where do you get to go? Where do you get to go get your nails done? Where do you get to go to get your toenails done? Where do you get to go to show yourself that you love yourself? To do an action of self-love? What do you get to do? What courses do you get to take? Can you imagine? Can you imagine just being in this such a powerful, amazing relationship with yourself that nobody could tell you shit and you would never feel anything different about yourself? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine the possibilities that you could create from that space of self-love? Can you imagine the amount of people that you would inadvertently affect just because of you being authentic to yourself, knowing who you are because you took the time to fill your own cup when it comes to the relationship with yourself? The possibilities are endless. The possibilities are endless. The relationship with self is the one I wanted to focus on with that one, okay? There's also relationships with other people. You have a girlfriend, you have a boyfriend, you have a husband, you have a wife, you have a partner, right? That also fits in this category as well, relationships. However, that's for another episode, okay? I just want to speak about 4 for this one. Now, family. Now, I'll be honest. Family was a very difficult one for me to fill my own cup up with first because I felt family was a very difficult area of my life for me to fill my own cup up first or create the expansion within, because there was a lot of turmoil happening at the time when I was transitioning out of the ex-addict into who I am currently now. And that is Brandon, the sober Brandon, the future transformational emotional intelligence and leadership trainer, the person that's willing to put risks out into the world and declare out of nothing in order to make a dream happen. And during that time of the transition from the druggie over to the abundant person I am now, there's a lot of things that transpired in between me and my family. Not good things. not good things. There's a lot of heat. There's a lot of heat. So with family, that one was a difficult area for me. However, what was my saving grace in that area was taking responsibility. Taking responsibility. When I was going through that 7-year phase of my life of addiction and alcohol, that right there was when I was playing blame game. Like, oh, you didn't do this, and oh, you didn't do that, and why didn't you do this, and why didn't you do that? And I was just playing blame game for a lot of different things in my life. And it was bad, man. And it was bad. It was a terrible time. It was a terrible time. I laugh about it now, but man, oh my gosh, holy crap. So once I started taking responsibility, that is where I started to expand within. Taking responsibility and apologizing to the people that I've hurt. Taking responsibility and making it up to the people that I've hurt the most. My family. My family. By me not living up to my greatness, by me not living up to my unlimited potential, do you know how many people I backslapped across the face just by me not living to my full potential? And that goes for you. The reason why I'm telling you this is that goes for you as well. Is, do you understand how many people and all of your ancestors before you backslap spiritually and physically across the face by you not living to your full potential. All they ever wanted for you is for you to live to your full potential, to see the greatness that they see in you. The greatness that you see, that they saw in you, that you didn't even see in yourself. Can you imagine that? You living to your full potential, for you to glow so bright that everybody is attracted to you, that you can help the world, you could be the change that you want to see in the world. Can you imagine being that person? Can you imagine that? It starts from your family. It starts from yourself first, with your health and your relationship with self, and then it goes into family. The people that have been there for you since the beginning. And this could be your chosen family. It doesn't have to be your family, your blood family. I understand there's situations out there where we may or may not even know our blood family. However, this gets to be your chosen family. Who do you get to build new bridges with? Forget about the old bridges. Those are all fucked up already, right? Who do you get to build new bridges with? And building on this family, that's another key step into expanding within. Another key step in expanding within. Okay? And the fourth one is community service. Everything else is capitalized. Let me just stop that out. Community service. Okay, so now you may be asking, okay, well, how does that expand within? If I'm doing things externally, how does that expand my internal if I'm doing stuff for other people? You're not making any sense, Brandon. Come on now. Well, calm down. I got you, okay? Relax a little bit here, okay? So community service. This is huge. You know what? And I'm gonna make this such a. I'm gonna, just put a whole bunch of marks around this one, right? Like community service is big. It's big. Community service is huge. Okay? Because what community service does, and hear me out here, lean in with me here. Community service. Have you leaned in as yet? Lean in with me here. Community service, what it does is it gets you out of yourself. It gets you out of yourself in order for you to realize that you are not the center of the universe. And people out there have it way worse than you. So it gets you out of your head and gets you into your heart. And that's where the eternal expansion starts. Now let me just give you a quick example of what I'm speaking about here. So there's such thing as a collective conscious. Okay? Now a collective conscious is a group of collected consciousnesses of people. Okay? For example, Democrats and Republicans. I don't talk about politics. I don't really care about it. As long as my family is taken care of, I could care less. what the fuck's going on with that? Anyways, it's Democrats is a collective conscious, Republicans are collective conscious. Okay? And what that incorporates is that you can either believe you're a Democrat or you can believe that you're a Republican. However, that's tapping into a collective conscious instead of having a conscious for yourself. And 9 times out of 10, we are in a collective conscious, whether you're in a city or even like if you're in a particular race, in the ethnicity, collective consciousness, it's easy to fall victim to it, is what I'm saying. So to not be able to think for yourself and for other people and other ways of being and other groups to think for you. Okay? Now, community service, what community service does, and just a huge example here is Friday. This past Friday, I went to the Agua Fria Food and Clothing Bank to volunteer. And, you know, I was a runner. I ran the carts around. I ran the carts around to the individuals' cars, and I loaded up their groceries, their food. They were so grateful. It was such an amazing feeling. I love doing that for people. I love doing that for people. It really brings something to my heart, man. So that's what happened there. And with that example right there, okay, is that every time I go and volunteer, every time I go and do some community service, every time I do something for humanity, I get to experience what the rest of the world is like, the collective conscious. And I'll tell you right now, it's not a great place to be. It's not a great place to be. It's not a great place to be. I get to experience what the world is really going through, and I'm not inside the 4 corners of my house just doing these episodes. I'm actually out there living it. And I get to experience, you know, people going through poverty. I get to experience single mothers with a van load of 5 kids really depending on this food. I get to have conversations with people that have recently lost their jobs and they were extremely embarrassed to be at a food shelter. Why? That's a question for another time, but it's just that, actually no, let's talk about it. Why? Why was this individual embarrassed to even say that he lost his job and he needed help? That's collective conscious. Collective conscious teaches you to not ask for support. That it's a bad thing. Oh no. Oh no. Don't ask nobody for shit. No, man. That's all bullshit, man. See, and who that individual got to be in that moment was vulnerable with me and have a conscience for his own, to be able to speak from himself and be vulnerable with me and cry to me. See, by you doing community service, you're not only expanding within, you're also healing other people. You're having enough vigor and enough rigor and enough bravery and enough strength and compassion and love within community service for you to have your own conscience, for your own thought processes, in order to sign the paperwork, get your background approved, then go into community service. From there, because you are able to think for yourself, guess what happens? You get other people to think for themselves. And that's how you heal, slowly but surely, the collective conscious. Is by you being able to think for yourself and have your own conscious first. You source it. You source it. That's why community service is so damn huge. It's so big. Man. Community service is huge. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So, just take a moment to look at this one more time. We have health, we have relationships, we have family, and we have community service. Okay? Now let me take out all of this. Gotta get a better eraser. It's leaving stains everywhere. Let me see something. Yeah, I gotta get a better eraser. This one sucks. Anyways, I'm gonna draw this a little bit bigger now. Okay. So now let's get back to the cup drawing, okay? The cup illustration. So, bigger cup. Bigger cup. And then we have, you know what? I'll do it like this. X, 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 X. Remember we were talking about the cracks, right? We were talking about the cracks. And those are all of the traumatic experiences that we have not healed from as yet. Okay? Now, one thing that I want to explain to you is, you remember the straw, okay? The straw. Actually, let me take that one out of there. The straw. We'll just put that one over there. Remember the straw. Okay, so I really want you guys to really dial in here, okay? Lean in with me here, okay? Because this is going to take an open mind to understand. So initially, when we were pouring the water in, when we were pouring the water in was this area right here. Okay? And that's the outside of all of the work that we do for ourselves, all of the work that we invest into ourselves. Okay? So we're pouring the water into the cup. And because the cup has all of these cracks, the water leaks out. The water leaks out. Okay? Water leaks out, and inadvertently you're never able to fill up your own cup because you're always giving and giving and giving and giving from all of these wounds that you have not healed from as yet. Alright? Now, stay with me here. What do you think will happen if we put the water here? So instead of putting the water here, inside of the cup itself, we're putting the water into the straw. We're putting the water into the straw. So what does that mean? The water is all of the work that we get to do within health, the relationship with self, within family, and big one, community service, in order for this straw to expand. For the straw to expand. Now, stay with me here. When the straw expands, okay, when the straw expands, this straw grows wider, 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 and wider. Now, when this happens, where the water is put through the straw and the straw gets wider and wider and wider and wider, what do you think ends up happening? It heals these cracks, these wounds, from the inside out. We're not putting band-aids or glue on the outside in order to fix it. That's just a temporary fix. When we do the internal work through the 4 health, relationship with self, family, and community service, when we start doing these things, the straw expands. The straw expands in order to, similar to that foam silicone that carpenters and construction workers use when building homes, right? To seal openings. It's the same exact concept. Okay? You put the water through the straw opens up. From there, it fills those cracks from within. And that's the expansion within. That's how you heal from the inside out in order for you to be able to start filling up your own cup, in order to be able to fill up others, your loved ones, your community, the world. Okay? So just a quick recap. I want to draw this out one last time. And this time I'm going to draw this with the big straw now, just to show you what happens with the big straw. Oh no, I did the same one. All right. So the more water that we actually, that's an over exaggeration. How am I gonna? Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna do it like this. There you go. Okay, so the more water that we put into the straw, okay, look at everything that happens here. Okay, remember those cracks? So now that we have put water into the straw is our internal expansion. Now that we've put water through the work that we do in health, relationship with self, family, and community service, guess what happens here? Guys? We put the water in, and do you see these gaps right here? This is where This is all of the extra that's able to fill up other cups. Oh shit. This is all of the extra that's able to fill up other cups. That's all of the extra that's able to fill up other cups. So now that we've put in so much self-work into us, now that you've put in so much self-work into yourself and expanded this straw immensely, right, first off, we, from the inside out, we heal here. So these become blue X's. We heal from the inside out. Thus, now your cup can be filled up with water, and then it overflows into other people's cups. That's how you fill other people's cups up. You heal internally first. You heal internally first at the expansion within in order to seal and heal from all of those cracks and from those experiences that continue to hinder you and hold you back. And from there, as the illustrations, as you can see in the illustration, once you heal all of them, then your cup starts to fill up, and you're not pouring from an empty cup anymore. You're pouring from a overflowing, abundant cup. Isn't that awesome? Oh my gosh, that is so cool. Seriously. So that is where I'm going with this, okay? Fill up the straw, not the cup. Fill up the straw, not the cup. Okay? Fill up the straw, not the cup. Expand the straw, which is your internal expansion, in order to seal and heal from the inside out. Oh man, that was so good. Oh my gosh. I am so happy with that. I'm so happy with that. Oh my gosh. Wow. Powerful, 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 powerful. Anyways, let me bring back this up here before my camera battery dies. Okay. So, just a quick recap. Oh, hold on. Alright guys, so that was the topic there, okay? I brought back my handy dandy scheduler here, okay? So we went through the introduction, we went through the episode title. Again, just to recap on that, the episode title is Filling Up Your Own Cup and the expansion within. Filling up your cup and the expansion within. Who's this episode for? This episode is for you. If you've been having a hard time healing from the internal wounds, having a hard time healing from the internal wounds from the inside in order to be able to give and pour into others, like if you feel that you're pouring from an empty cup, this episode's for you. Okay? Also, how do I fill up my own cup? How do I expand my internal in order to let positivity and abundance into my life? This episode is for you. So on and so forth, okay? The topic, and we just went through a ton of illustrations about how the straw is actually where you get to pour the water into. The water, well, just think about a cup. Just think about a cup. Okay? Now the cup, if it has cracks inside of the cup, and the cracks symbolize traumatic experiences within your life that you haven't taken the time to heal from as yet. That you haven't taken the time to heal from as yet. Okay, what do you think is going to happen when you pour water into the cup? What do you think is going to happen when you pour water into that cracked cup? Water is going to continue to spew out of the cup, internally to externally, is going to continue to spew out of the cup, thus never ever actually achieving you filling up your own cup. Now, to shift that mindset, we're going to picture the straw inside of the cup. We're going to picture the straw inside of the cup. Now, the straw, what that symbolizes is how far your internal has expanded. How far your internal has expanded. So instead of pouring water into the cup, we're going to start pouring water into the straw. Into the straw. Because the straw symbolizes the amount of work that we've invested into ourselves. That's what the straw symbolizes. And that's the expansion within. And as you pour more and more and more of water inside of that straw, it widens and widens and widens and widens, thus acting as a sealant and a healant to those experiences, those traumatic experiences that have identified with you and that you've identified with. So pouring water through that straw heals those traumatic experiences from the inside out. From the inside out. From the inside out. And as that straw continues to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and expands wider and wider and wider and wider, the more water and the faster your cup will fill up. The more water it can hold and the faster it'll fill up. Now, what do you think will happen once that healed from the inside out cup fills up? That extra water gets to be poured into other people's cups. And then that's where the cliche comes from. You can't pour into other people's cups before you fill yours up first. You gotta fill yours up first before you can pour into anybody else. We took it a step further and explained how to fix the cracks within that cracked cup in order for you to finally be able to start filling up your own cup. Powerful episode. Powerful episode. And that is our recap. Okay? So, my following info, I don't know why you haven't as yet, damn it, but I will say it again, and for each and every single one of my episodes, damn it, okay? Well, guys, you can follow me at TheAgeoftheComeback on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok. A lot of my content is on TikTok, okay? I will slowly but surely start putting them up on Facebook and Instagram. However, a lot of my content is on TikTok and YouTube. My full episodes are on YouTube. My snippets and my clips, they are on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. Concentration of them are on TikTok. Okay? So follow me at Age of the Comeback on those 4 social media channels. Also, to my podcast listeners, I am on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Just look up The Age of the Comeback and I am there. Alright, buddy? Woo! Let's go. Alright? And for our close, I just want to say thank you. Thank you again. Thank you so much for just being here with me on this journey as I am learning to speak and communicate and connect and have my thoughts together and to be able to reverberate them to you in order to teach something so special. And that's healing. That's transformation. That's love. Thank you. Thank you for your continuous support in getting me to live by my code of honor, by my mission statement for the world, and that is to have the courage to let go of the perfectionist in order to start taking risks in your life by first taking risks in mine. And with that being said, guys, this is The Age of the Comeback. Thank you for everything. All right. Badass episode, man. Damn. Alright, here goes nothing. 2 things to work on today. Stop moving around so goddamn much. And also to quiet down my voice because it messes up with the microphone. Myself to this room. Okay. Uh-oh, come on. 2 more bars. All right. Drop my marker. Oh, god dang.